A KSL Sports presentation. Game Night Live kicks off now. Sponsored by UCCU.
If you love high school football, you've come to the right place. Welcome to a playoff edition of Game Night Live.
Yeah, we've got highlights of 29 first-round playoff games. It's win or go home. So let's get it started.
Let's start with a wild one. In the last two seasons, Wood Cross had a combined 2-19 record, including an 0-10 record last year.
What a turnaround, though, for that program. Former Highland coach Brody Benson has quickly made them relevant again, and they enter the playoffs with a 6-4 record, finishing second in Region 5, and they earned the 10th seed in the 5A playoffs. They were hosting the 4-6 Wasatch Wasps. Game tied at 7 in the second. Woods Cross's Kelvin Malapai scores for the 9-yard touchdown to put the Wildcats up 14-7. Later in the quarter, game tied 14s. Carter Boucade would get a game-changing interception for Wasatch. With 8 seconds left in the half, Mac Kelson to Crew Erickson. 46-yard touchdown. The Wasps have a 21-14 lead before the half. Fourth quarter, it's a one-score lead for Wasatch. Woods Cross making a comeback. Bradley Bailey, 57 yards to Malapai. But the extra point to tie it was blocked, so the Wildcats are down a point. Woods Cross gets one more chance, but Tavian Edwards makes the game-sealing interception. 23rd seeded Wasatch. With the upset, they'll be facing Spanish Fork next.
Make sure you're hydrated for Viewmont and Cedar Valley. Viewmont would jump out to an early lead. Luke Jacobs going to roll out and find Kingston Mickens. It's a 55-yard touchdown. 5 minutes later, Jacobs, instead of passing, he's going to keep it. And he's going to find a lane, and he is fast. 73 yards for the touchdown. Cedar Valley finally gets on the board when Joe Lomu goes up the middle, almost untouched, 51 yards for the score. Viewmont would take a 21-7 lead when Luke Jacobs finds Scott Noel for a 20-yard touchdown. What a grab. They led 21-14 at the half. Things get even crazier in the second. Jacobs looking deep for Cole Mudrow, who catches the ball off a defender's backside. Not even the best catch in this game. Cooper Thompson for Cedar Valley to Tegan Hansen, who goes high to snag the touchdown. Cedar Valley takes the lead. They never gave it up. KJ Fisher with a tough run into the end zone, breaking tackles. And then the defense will seal the deal. DeVoe to Atonga with a pick six. Cedar Valley moves on to face Stansbury in the second round.
It's the 15-18 matchup between East and Skyline in Class 5A. And on Skyline's first offensive series of the game, the East defense finds the end zone. Omar Shaw with the pick and the 50-yard return for the 6. 7-0 East. Skyline had no answers for East offense all game long. Late first quarter, this is Michael Fanua. He takes the carry. This is Michael Fanua with the touchdown run. 68 yards for the 21-7 lead. He had 3 touchdowns in the game. Tucker McCormick threw a pair of passes for touchdowns. This one to Kevin Doe from 48 yards. It's a 35-7 lead. The East defense would add an exclamation point with the pick 6 by John Amoni. The Leopards advance with a 70-28 win. They'll face number 2 Timpview.
Staying in 5A, Orem hosting Uinta. Lance Reynolds at quarterback for the Tigers. We'll find Roger Saliaponga for a touchdown. More from them in a moment. Orem led 17-0 after 1. Uinta trying to climb back in it. Chase Harding, 25 yards to Jared Colton for the score, but Orem just too much firepower. This catch by Roger Saliaponga is a Catch of the Year nominee. One-handed for the touchdown. Orem moves on to face Bountiful in the second round. The Payson Lions finished the regular season with a 7-3 record. Their first winning season since 1978. They haven't won a playoff game since winning a state title back in 1971. Here they were 51 years later trying to make history against Olympus, a rematch of last year's first round of the playoffs. Only won that game 49-21. They strike first on Friday. Payson quarterback Cade Edwards picked off by Weston Olson. He's going to take it back 60 yards. It's a pick 6. Titans were up 7-0, and they never trailed in this game. The Titans defense intercepted 4 passes. Olsen had 2 of them, and Jackson Godfrey had 2 rushing touchdowns. Olympus, the 21 seed in the 5A playoffs, moves on to face region rival Brighton in the next round.
All right, the 8-2 Park City Miners opened up the playoffs against Timpanogos in the 16-17 matchup. Park City had some big play offense in this game. This is Mason Grover. breaking tackles and scoring on the 47-yard run, 14-0 after one. Second quarter, Tim a yard from scoring, but the ball is fumbled. Park City recovers for the touchback, and this is what they do with the ball. They give it right back to Grover, who just mows over anyone in his way and rolls for the 74-yard score and a 21-0 Park City lead. The Miners would make it 28-0 through the air. Chase Byer to Carson Baines, 27-yard touchdown, and the Miners would get one more on a pick six by Blake Tabarachi. Park City wins 35-14.
Bonneville, the 14th seed in the 5A playoffs. They're hosting 19th seeded Alta. Alta gets on the board early with the quarterback keep. Matt McKeah with the short touchdown run. It's 7-0 Alta. Bonneville down 2 touchdowns in the first when they get a big spark from Isaac Manzare. On special teams, he's going to return this kickoff 99 yards. That cut the lead to 14-7. But McKeah had a big-time playoff performance for the Hawks. 5 touchdown passes to go with his early touchdown run. And Alta advances with the road win, 42-14.
With the 9th seed, Box Elders hosting Highland. Some first quarter magic here by the Bees. Watch Mason Jepson catch the ball, and then he completely disappears. But he reappears on your screen here for the 7-0 touchdown lead. Second quarter, Box Elders Cole Mortensen back to return the punt. Picks it up on the hop, has nowhere to go, so look, he's just going to switch directions. And then, now there's a whole lot of places for him to go. 75-yard punt return. Box Elder wins at 21-14. They will face Provo next. Westlake had just 2 wins all season. One of those wins was a 1-point double overtime win over Mountain Ridge back in Week 5. Westlake would not win again the rest of the regular season, but on Friday night in the opening round of the 6A playoffs, a rematch with Mountain Ridge, and Westlake played with that added confidence as well. Down a touchdown in the first quarter. Westlake's Colson Kearing with the pick. That would lead to a second quarter touchdown pass from Aiden Bayless to Aiden Hammond, and it's 7-all. Less than 2 minutes later, Mountain Ridge connects on the 57-yard touchdown from Jackson Reiser to Peyton Jones, 14-7. Reiser threw another touchdown in the fourth for the 28-17 lead. Here comes the Westlake comeback. Bayless to Ezra Heiner, making it a 3-point game. But this time, they come up short. Mountain Ridge moves on 28-25 to get American Fork in the second round.
Pleasant Grove, the 14th seed in the 6A playoffs, hosting Cypress. The Vikings' Jaden Wright finds the end zone in the first quarter to put Pleasant Grove up 7-0. Pleasant Grove quarterback Nick Staffieri throws a dart to Bronco Winterton, put the Vikings up 14-0. Jaden Wright would find the end zone again to put Pleasant Grove up 21-0. And in the second quarter, 21-8, Nick Staffieri throws a 9-yard touchdown to Matyra Brown to put Pleasant Grove up 28-8. And they roll on this one 63-38.
All right, more Class 6A action. The Harriman Mustangs were visiting the Layton Lancers in the third quarter. Layton's up 8-7. Harriman fakes out the cameraman, but not the Lancers. Jackson Henderson picks off the screen and goes all the way back for 6 points. Layton's defense was a force all night long. Watch this. Defensive lineman Takoa Bird knocks it down, picks up the fumble. 7 takeaways for the Lancers defense. In the fourth quarter, Tyler Winslow finds Elias Parkinson, puts on the brakes, and then goes in for the easy score. Layton gets Corner Canyon in the next round.
Lone Peak's quest to repeat begins against Copper Hills. Up 18-0 in the third quarter. Lone Peak's Easton Anderson runs in the 3-yard touchdown to put the Knights up 24-0. Lone Peak quarterback Caden Hodson's going to find the end zone in the third to make it 32-0. Later in the third quarter, Jackson Blake at quarterback is going to find Crew McChesney. He's going to do all the work. He's going to turn this into an 80-yard touchdown, and Lone Peak rolls 46-7. They get Syracuse next.
With a 5-5 regular season record, Granger had its best season of football since winning 6 games back in 2016, but they really want more. Granger has not won a playoff game since advancing to the 5A semifinals 25 years ago in 1997. Friday night, they had a home field advantage against Fremont. In the first quarter, Granger defense stepping up here. Landon Figueroa halts the Fremont drive with the interception. On Fremont's next possession, much different result, though. Slade Parker, 41-yard touchdown to Grange. Granger would put together a long second quarter drive that ends with the short touchdown by Ricky Mamone to make it a 10-7 game. In the third quarter, Parker throws his second touchdown, though, to Cale Cypers. The drought continues for Granger. Fremont will face Skyridge next week.
All right, let's go to Weber and Roy. First quarter, Aiden Carter is going to air it out for Crash Coggins in this rivalry matchup. Weber up 7-0 in the first quarter. The game was tied at 7 when Roy quarterback Robert Young is going to keep, and he finds the end zone, giving the Royals a 14-7 lead. Weber was up 24-14 when quarterback Tice Abbott is going to find Celesi Moa for the 27-yard touchdown. Of course, the freshman's going to put on a little show for the camera. Weber upsets the Royals, 31-14.
The 9th seed in 6A West at home against Hunter. Second quarter, up by 14. Isaiah Suesue throwing a 55-yard bomb to Charlie Holbrook. That gives the Panthers a 21-0 lead. They're going to get another score on the legs of Ifoti Vaianuku. A 1-yard touchdown run makes it 28-0. Julius Tukoisuva runs in for 48 yards on the touchdown to give the Panthers a 35-2 lead in the third. West wins easily 42-9. They'll be facing West Jordan next week.
Riverton, a 10 seed, hosting Kearns. The Silverwolves are already up 17-3 when Easton Hicks shows patience and then boom, takes off like a rocket. 60 yards for the touchdown. It's 24-3 Riverton. Kearns with a great pitch and catch here. Bryce Benson to Capelli Smith, the toe tapper. That's a touchdown in the NFL. We might see that later in the show. But the Cougars had no answer for Hicks. Another long touchdown run. 70 yards. Riverton moves on to face 7-seed Davis in the second round.
All right, we're going to take a moment to catch our breath here, but we still have a lot more to come your way.
Yes, we do. Northern Utah teams facing Southern Utah teams in the 4A playoffs. And the Game Night 5 and the highlight reel all coming up next. That catch is too good.
We're the Lady Lancers, and you're watching Game Night Live! Yeah!
Thank you, Layton High School. All right, the Snow Canyon Warriors are a 5 seed in the 4A state playoffs, but they're one of the hottest teams in 4A. 4 straight wins by an average of 39 points, and that includes wins over Desert Hills and Dixie. No one wants to play them, but Green Canyon got their shot Friday.
The Manti Templars enter the 3A playoffs. They do so for the final time with Cole Meacham as their head coach. He announced that he'll be retiring after 23 years as Manti's head coach. He's won 153 of his 251 career games, which includes 3 state championships. They opened the playoffs against 9th-seeded Ogden on Friday night. Manti's Larson Pograshevsky had a big-time game for the Templars. This 40-yard touchdown run was already his 3rd of the day. He had 4 for the game. Then Myson Starkweather to Reggie Frischneck. He sheds the defender for the 75-yard score. Manti moving on easily with a 48-15 win. Ben Lomond to North Sanpete. North Sanpete's quarterback Tyler Allen with 2 rushing touchdowns on the day. And this 21-yard pass to Brooke Johnson. Allen's 3 second-half TDs led the Hawks to the win. They face Grantsville next week.
Richfield hosting Carbon. What a game for Emery Thorson of Richfield. It starts with a 93-yard kickoff return for a touchdown to open the game. So he scored on special teams. Then he's going to score on a touchdown run of 7 yards. And then he also threw 2 touchdown passes. That one a 36-yard toss to Kai Thomas. And Richfield moves on with a big win.
On the final weekend of the regular season, Delta used a 13-point fourth quarter to defeat Millard for the Rabbits' 4th win of the season. Well, 1 week later, same 2 teams, same venue, but this time it is playoff football. Millard, the 9th seed in the 2A, Delta, the 8th seed. Millard with the early 7-0 lead. That's when Delta's Cam Smith delivers the interception and the 53-yard return for the 6 points. But now it's Millard's turn for a big play. Morgan Wade on the sweep. He's going to throw a couple of stiff arms and then watch him go the distance. A 70-yard score for the 14-6 Millard lead. Now on the ensuing kickoff, Cadence Lavelle is just going to go right down the middle, runs over the defender, and goes 90 yards. Delta trailing 14-13 at the half. So with less than a minute to go in the third quarter, Delta's Hunt Robison hooks up with Cam Smith for another score, and now they have the lead 20-14. Fourth quarter, 4 minutes left in the game. Millard retakes the lead. Sam Rasmussen over the top to Luke de Graffenried. That's a 53-yard touchdown. 2 minutes later, it's Delta's turn again. Cameron Scheme avoiding pressure. Going to find Grady Lavelle, who makes an amazing catch. That led to a Delta touchdown for the 7-point lead. Millard's last shot with 30 seconds left was broken up, and Delta moves on 28-21.
2A football, Grand and Summit Academy. First quarter, Summit Academy's Cash Whitman. This is cash money. 30 yards to Josh Morrill, 7-0 Bears. Second quarter, 28-6 Summit Academy. Bronson Dixon had 4 touchdown runs on the night, and Summit Academy moves on. They'll take on Beaver on the road in the next round. Providence Hall hosting the American Leadership Academy Eagles in the third quarter. The Eagles were up 24-0. And running back Robin Limutau runs into the end zone from 10 yards out to put the Patriots up 31-0 in the third. And then in the fourth quarter, Limutau finds the end zone again on a 20-yard carry. The Patriots win big, 38-3.
10th-seeded South Sevier went on the road and handed Judge an absolute beatdown. South Sevier's Carter Abraham had a big game. Final play of the half, he picks off the Judge pass. Rams had a 40-14 lead at the half. Third quarter, Abraham on the keeper. He's going to walk it in. South Sevier with the blowout, 65-27.
All right, those are the highlights, but now it's time for our favorite segment of the week.
Yeah, the 5 best. The top 5 plays from week 1 of the playoffs, and they are the Game Night 5.
How are we going to choose 5 out of that bunch? Well, we'll try. This is Colt Mudrow of Viewmont on number 5. Is that a juggling catch? He catches it off. It takes it right off the back.
Amazing.
Either way, it's pretty cool. So that's number 5.
Well, number 4 comes from Millard's Connor Hem. Look, goes airborne and off balance for that catch down the sidelines. A big first down in what would end up being the first scoring drive of the game.
Wow. That's right. Let's go to number 3. This is Kearns Capelli Smith. A little toe tap action. You know what? That's good for 6 in the NFL. Capelli Smith's the next level player and showing why right there.
All right, Cedar Valley had a lot of great plays. We've already seen several of them. But our number 2 play comes from Tegan Hansen here. He can also fly, apparently, because, my goodness, reaches up, grabs that, comes down, gets in the end zone for the score. What a catch.
That is why they call Cedar Valley the Aviators.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know how we topped number 2, but we did. Orem Tigers receiver, Roger Saliaponga. We cannot see this enough.
My goodness.
We'll just let it roll. The one-handed touchdown. It's not one of those things where he taps it with one hand and then catches it with 2.
The left hand never touched the ball.
Just like a magnet stuck to his hand. Look, it was like Velcro. Like he stuck it like a dartboard.
Amazing.
What a catch. Roger Saliaponga, our number 1 play of the week.
Hey, you know what? We have a lot of highlights still to come, though. It's the Game Night Live highlight reel. All the feels are coming your way. Just stay where you're at.
All right, there's only one way to summarize the start to the high school football playoffs.
Yeah, we take all the best video of the week, turn it into the Game Night Live highlight reel.
Game Night Live is headed to Syracuse High School. The Region 1 champion Titans hosting the defending champions of 6A, the Lone Peak Knights. It all starts, we don't know yet. We're waiting for the starting time for that game, but we can't wait for it. We'll show it to you on Friday whenever we get that time. We'll see you then. We'll see you tonight at 10 as well.